hang on. This isn't right. There you go.
Tweak this, adjust that.
Yes. We are missing Gary at the moment due to family things that haven't gone as he planned. Well, they have and they haven't. They've been delayed somewhat.
Hmm.
Um, so, how are you, John?
I'm good. I'm good.
We've
Yeah.
not
I
really had a
think.
chance to speak because you only came on right before we came live.
Oh, I know. I was stuck watching QI with my darling wife. So
Sure, right.
Oh yeah, Sandy Toksvig. Yeah, she's great. Yeah, no, Bron's excellent. And yeah, so yeah, I was running a bit short of time. Uh, yeah, no, I'm good. I've got not much to report. I'm heading down to Sydney tomorrow with Bron with a couple of things to pick up, and all that sort of stuff. So I'll be meeting a modeler tomorrow as well.
Ooh,
So about a year ago on Models for Heroes, the private chat thing, there's a guy who was saying, look, it's not making sense. I can't do this. I need some help. And John looked him up and said, "Oh, he's in Sydney," and asked me to sort of get in touch with him to see if I could help. And I have not met him yet, but we're meeting up for the first time tomorrow. He would like to give me a couple of donations to get going and stuff like that. So
awesome.
looking forward
I'm
to
going to
that.
sing you a sec. You're a little bit quiet.
Okay, that's fine. So
A little
I'm
bit
gonna
different.
just change my camera. I moved my camera. I did a YouTubey thing before. I haven't
That could
uploaded
be
it
why.
yet, but
Yeah, my
I
computer's
need.
decided it's not turning its volume up now.
Oh, okay,
I was having
interesting.
problems with this the other day.
So I'll just drop
Hmm.
my camera back down again. It's on a
Hold the
selfie
fort,
stick.
John. Show us what you've been up to.
Uh, well, it's not much to show really. It's just what we were doing last week. The other last week, I'll just put that there. So I started doing uh, Berg Panzer T60 mini art kit, 1/35th scale, and I haven't got too far with it. So let me change the camera. So, well, no, there's quite a bit of progress, but it hasn't progressed since the last sort of sesh we had. I'm having trouble with the backrest on top of the seat there. It's not much holding it there, and it keeps on sort of breaking and stuff like that. I think I'll put it down, it just wobbles around and everything else. So it's gluing again. I've just got a bottle of paint behind it to sort of prop it up while the glue sets, but we'll see how that goes. And the engine is together. The last thing I did on Monday was a little photo etch, little, I don't know, I wouldn't call it a gear selector because that's what the big stick is, but whatever mode he selects here, it's probably forward or reverse or neutral
Like
or whatever. I don't know.
high and low range or something like that, possibly.
Okay, right. Something like that. It's certainly a gear selector, and it's very small compared to a finger. Do 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 do. So that took a while, and I haven't done anything since. I've been doing other stuff around the house.
Excellent.
So I'll just be progressing with this. I think I won't do a diorama tonight. I think I was going to continue with the Spitfire, the round base for that. I just don't feel like I'll be doing that because I literally haven't looked at it since we went live last time.
Yeah,
So I'll just do the Berg Panzer if that's okay,
of course it
which I'm
is. You
sure it
can do
will
whatever
be.
you like.
I know. Well, it's either
You
that or
make
get out another kit because all these other ones are still calling to me. But I'll be a good boy and stick with the armor. Um, yeah, like that. So I'll just keep going. The thing is, like, I've scribbled everywhere what colours what because the colour chart is at the front of the book there.
Mhm.
So it doesn't, it's just got the numbers, of course, throughout the book. But then, so the clutch mechanism is red brown. The drive shaft is white. And I've got the black is probably the brake assembly and yada 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 yada. But I haven't painted a thing yet. What I'll need to do, I think, is paint the interior white and then do other detail, pick out detail bits and all that sort of stuff. So I won't do that yet, but I will probably get the sidewalls onto the chassis, the lower subframe. But we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, I am enjoying it, so I will progress with this because why not? And that's me. I'll keep this upside down because my camera's upside down, I'm reminded. Hey, fair couple of comments. Would you like to do them? Or are you busy?
Yeah. I don't know what Modmin's doing today.
Hmm.
She is, isn't there?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Go on, John.
No, I'll just continue here. So if you're busy, I can keep talking. I can talk underwater with a mouthful of marbles. I've
Yeah,
been told.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. I don't really. No, I'm trying to think what's going on here. There's not much. It's raining. I've got that, but that's not unusual. And there's a big sort of round planet of ours. Um, what are we up to? Yeah, so I'm up to well that step here. So putting on yeah, so the batteries are in place. There's two boxes there, but yeah, putting together the sidewall and it's the fillet along the gap there, and then soon after that, yeah, front wall, back wall, other side, and I'll just continue building it up.
Yeah.
Hooray!
What
AB11.
the hell is going on here?
Do, 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 do. Oh no. Yeah. AB11. Oh, crikey.
Crikey,
No.
mate.
Oh, no, I won't do that one yet. Well, it's a long shaft. That's what she said.
Ooh,
But
that's what she said.
I won't do that yet because to put that in place, the engine will need to be in place, and I want to keep the engine separate so I can paint it separately. It's typically it says aluminium all over, but I won't do that yet. I'll start on the sidewall instead.
Hmm. Just to explain, I am paying attention, but I'm
You're in the middle of
as
something, I know.
yeah. No, I'm explaining to them, to the people in the audience.
Ah,
I was in the middle of booking some theatre tickets, and it's for some reason it chucked me out at the last second, so I'm trying to redo it before we lose the seats. Yeah.
for a concert, is it? Or
It's for a show by John Nichols, who's an RAF pilot, and it's about
yes,
his study and research into the story of the repatriation of the unknown soldier.
John Nichols. I think have I got a couple of books of his on my bedside table? Uh, did he write a book called Eject, Eject and Lancaster? I think I've read a couple of his books.
Possibly, but it does look very good.
Yeah, would be. Right, so that one. CA12. CA look like? That one with the wheel. Oh, those ones. Okay.
Right. John, I will click on the comments, and if you want to read them,
Mm-hmm. Certainly.
whilst I'm doing this.
Oh,
Excellent.
right. Tiff says good morning. Good morning, Tiff.
One tip.
Bearded Veteran Crates comes back with morning orders. Mikey says, well, afternoon. Tiff says, 40 minutes till kick-off. The reply to that, of
That's how
course,
keen
is
she is.
indeed.
Mm,
And as Siri would say, with the smiling emoji.
yes.
Tiff says, might be a little late in the office, but I'll be there as soon as I can.
Uh,
Jim Olcott says, good morning to our modmin and to our 3/2 gracious hosts.
yes.
Tiff
Good
replies with
afternoon, Jim.
a
Our survey says,
morning, Jim.
morning, Jim.
And
And
Jim's reply, oh, you've got it? A new picture on your avatar, Tiffany. Very nice. I should try to do it in an American accent, but I think he'll switch off very quickly and go somewhere else. Squarish is in. Says afternoon all. Steve. Stuart says hi all.
Steve, who's
Is it?
that? Wasn't
Sorry,
Steve? That was
Squarish.
James.
James?
Yeah, his name's
Sorry.
James.
I don't even
Or
know James.
GM.
Yeah. Stuart says hi all. Hi, Stuart.
Um,
Jim says hi at Stuart. Good morning for me. Good afternoon to you.
yes. Good afternoon to you too,
Ah.
and you, John.
At Squarish, good afternoon. Jim is saying g'day
Yeah.
to everybody.
And that's it. That's the last one.
Yeah, right. Very good.
Well, it is for now. I hope there'll be more.
Well,
Ooh, stuff about Sham. Yeah, it's still wet. Yeah, right.
Oh,
What's the matter?
well, it's bin night here, so the Bronze left the bag of rubbish over behind me, and before I go to bed tonight, I need to put it out. But as I said before, it's raining, so I'm just like, ooh, I've got to go out in the rain. And yeah, so I just thought,
It's
oh
always
well.
fun, isn't it? So,
Hmm.
I think I've done it.
Oh,
Yay!
the tickets.
Yay! We've got the tickets.
Huzzah. Should really.
So,
I mean, one,
what
two,
we're going
three,
to watch is, I shall show you in a moment by date. It's actually the weekend of, well, it's on the Thursday before we go to Telford as well.
Oh, when you
So it's
say
going to be a busy.
we, you don't mean you and I.
No, I mean me and
The
my
rest of
boss.
the UK.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so it's called John Nichol, the Unknown Warrior. It's got tour dates all across the UK. And it says over 1 million British Empire soldiers died in the First World War. Today, around half still lack known graves due to the scale of combat and conditions.
Hmm.
Former RAF Tornado navigator John Nichol delves into the story of the Unknown Warrior. In an emotional personal journey, John Nichol retraces the Unknown Warrior's journey home from the battlefields of northern France to Westminster Abbey. In this remarkable and highly emotive theatrical experience, brought to life with haunting visuals and an arousing soundscape, the audience will be taken back to those explosive times and the experience of fervour of those that have gone before us. It's rare to find a tale so strange, intimate, and human, yet at the same time so enormous, so global in its importance. Yet again, John Nichol impresses us with his ability to weave together the little details and the grand narrative by Dan Snow. Yeah,
Ah,
there we go.
Dan Snow wrote that. Yeah.
So I've not been to the theatre for many, many years. So I'm glad we're going for this one. It's like a little treat for us.
All right. Oh, now I need to chuff off and grab something from the other room. I'll be back in a mo.
Okay, whatever, chap. I shall hold the fort best I can. Right. So, whilst John is off, Modman, are you coming in today, or are you just staying in the chat? We are in the normal StreamYard. Yeah. One thing I would like to say that has come up is when we do these lives, they obviously it's 3 veterans and stuff, and we use scale modeling whilst we're doing it as a way to sort of encourage conversation and help. Well, it helps us 3 to keep calm whilst we're on camera as well. We all get a little bit anxious about it. But it's not just about scale modeling. It's about a whole wide range of subjects. It's whatever comes into our heads. There may be subjects that some people don't enjoy or not interested in or they don't like. That's fine. But please don't go. I don't know how to put it. If you don't like a section, don't, last week we did a 3-hour live and somebody pulled out a 10-minute section that they didn't like. When we're talking about subjects that we're interested in. If you don't like a bit, don't just, badmouth that bit. Just enjoy the rest of the show. And if you don't, then don't watch. If you don't enjoy it, we're not going to change what we do. So whether if I lose viewers or subscribers or whatever, I don't mind. What matters to me is that me, John, and Gary are enjoying ourselves, and the people that are regulars enjoy themselves as well. So, yeah, that's that said and out the way. So, yeah, what we'll do is we'll put the link up. So I'm not sure what's happening today with Modmin. I'm going to be working on my universal carrier.
Oh,
I've sprayed the base colours, the base colour on it, and I primed it and sprayed the base colour. So I'm going to paint the inside bits.
okay.
And then varnish it and then start putting like washes and stuff on it. Well, yeah. I'll paint the inside bits because they'd be really hard to get to once I build it. And then I'll glue it together, finish gluing it together. Strange way of doing it, but I think it's the only way because it is a very compact little vehicle.
Yeah. I've not built one. I'd build one in a heartbeat. I think it's a interesting little vehicle.
Yeah, it is. It's a lovely little vehicle to work to build.
Oh, by the way, where I shot through just now is to check something. I was right. So on my bedside table is a book by
Oh,
John
cool.
Nichol. Cool. Eject. Escape from the aircraft is just the beginning. So this is, the history of ejection seats and how they work and everything else. And the other one, Lancaster by John Nichol.
Oh, that's why I recognised it. I've got that book.
Do you?
Yeah, that's why I recognise the name. I've just not read
And
it
he's
yet.
written another couple as well. So Spitfire and Tornado. I'm not sure what else he's written, but Tornado Down is his original one.
Mm-hmm. I've
It's
got
a
a new
non-fiction
book.
Yeah, what have you
I
got?
got a new book the other day. I got
The Somme.
perfect. Yeah.
So the epic battle in the soldier's own words. Oh, words and photographs.
Yeah.
Nice book.
It's 355 pages, and it's all like their own accounts and photographs they took whilst on the front lines and stuff. That's really interesting.
Yes.
It's supposed to be £25.50. It's supposed to be £25. I paid £5 for it.
Oh, excellent.
On Amazon.
On Amazon. That's some good score there.
Yeah. What else?
Let's try this.
Oh, something else as well. I can't remember what else I got. Oh, that's what I got.
What? Airbrush? Oh, what finger?
Mm.
Elite airbrush kit. Okay.
It's the one Gary recommended.
I
I
do
got it as a
remember.
second airbrush. I can use one for doing priming, and
Hmm.
one for because that one's got the 0.20 needle in and things like that as well. It's got 0.2, 0.2, 0.3, 0.5, so I can do more of the detail work with that one. Whereas my Neo one, I've only got the 0.3 board, so it's better for some stuff, not others.
Fair enough. I've only got one airbrush. Well, I've got two, but the other one's crap. I'm not going to get it out again.
Jim says, I'm still here working on my Tiger F1, Tiger 1 full model track links, whilst watching you guys. Excellent. Jim says, question, Mikey, have you made any progress on the Albatross, specifically the wing struts and cabanes? The wing struts and cabanes are fixed to the aircraft. They are.
Bum, bum,
I've not
bum.
rigged them, which will displease Steph, but I won't displease him. I think he was hoping I would, but I don't think I'm going to. It's just too fragile for me to be messing around with stuff like that, because if I put too much tension on it, some light's going to come apart again. Tiff says, sorry, something important came up. I'll be there as soon as I can. Okie dokie.
So remind me.
PP. Apparently, she's going to PP backstage.
It didn't happen if it's not on YouTube.
And she's posted the link if anyone wants to join me and John on here. Cool.
So remind me, your Albatross, is there going to be one more to wrap it all up, or is that done effectively?
I don't think it's going to be. It's not so much to wrap it up. It's just to show what we've done and talk about the kit.
Okay.
So it's more like a review episode than anything else.
Okay.
Jim says, excellent, Mikey. Glad to hear it. I look forward to seeing the finished Albatross. Yeah, it looks all right. I just dare move.
Right.
It looks all right. You know what I mean. Oh. Did have some exciting news over the weekend, but that's something I'll have to tell you offline, John.
Okay.
I'll discuss it with you offline.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, because it's like personal stuff.
Yeah.
I was going to tell you before we came on, but I didn't get a chance.
I didn't. Yeah, I was a bit down to the
You were
wire.
waylaid.
Well, that sounds more exciting than what it was, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, we'll go for that. Okay, so the fuel cans. What color? You know more about World War II than I do. What color would fuel cans be during World War II?
So you mean jerry cans, like the ones that after the British copied the hell out of the German design?
No, the sort of box ones with
So the tin ones.
Yeah.
They're probably
They just been
made
whatever
of
company,
tin.
whatever color the company made or something.
Yeah, I reckon they'd be just standard tin color. I am not a World War II expert. Certainly not a military vehicle expert.
Oh, I just realised.
Oh,
Mr. Jim's on.
is he now?
Hello, Jim. Hello in the background there, Jim. Can you wave to us?
On you, yes. Good to see you all today. Or you too, I should say. Sorry that Gary's not here. I hope things are good.
Hello.
Yeah,
Gary.
yeah, everything's fine.
Sorry, Gary.
Just,
You said Gary, so I said Gary. Hello, Jim.
Hello, John. I see the Burger Panzer. I keep calling it Burger Panzer, but it's actually Burger Panzer, but I can't help it. every time I see that name, a hamburger comes to mind. So
Yeah, well, every time you
food
mention
association
hamburger, a
with words.
hamburger comes to my mind.
Well, it looks like it's a multi-part kit, which is typical for mini art, but it seems like it's going along pretty well.
Oh, they always fit together very well. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that gives me
like,
confidence because I'm going to make an investment later in this year. It's going to have to wait, but I've been deciding whether it's going to be the Ryefield model or the mini art Puma, or
oh yeah,
Puma as it's properly pronounced, but I think we call it Puma over here. Full interior mini art version, because between you and Peter Oz
yeah,
building the M3 Lee full interior, and he never did it before, and it's coming together well for him. So it's giving me confidence that there's something that I could do and have success with it as well.
yeah, sure. I think
But
yeah.
I've brought my own work to do. I got it right here next to my. Let's see if I can move my computer a little bit so you can see it. Oh my gosh, hold on. I got a whole bunch of wires hooked up to it. There we go. I'll just have to undo the power cord for a second. And then we'll be able to, well, you know what? Hold on, guys. I didn't think this through. There we go. I'll just have to disconnect everything else I've got on here, and I can put it back in a moment. But you can see here, there it is. There's my little work table, and I've got my pin vise, the track links, and my minion goggles, and I'm ready to go. Yeah, they're a necessity for an old timer like me. They do make a difference. Even though I am nearsighted, which for the longest time absolved me from having to use any kind of visual aid for up close work, including reading. But I'm finding that I need it more and more as the years go by. And,
I'm exactly the same. I'm wearing them now.
Yeah, it does help. And you know what the hell? I mean, we're adults here for the most part.
For the most part.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm going to school in the 4th grade and everyone's going to kill me because I'm wearing glasses. Ha ha, 4 eyes. Yeah. Those were the days. Oh, wait a minute. I got the wrong one hooked up. Do I? No.
Duke says, good day, you bonds of beautiful people. I'm working a night shift.
Ah, hello, Duke.
Ah, well, then we're yeah, it's what, 11:30 there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're probably. Did you just start, Duke, or have you been on the job for a while? Some night shifts vary in start time, and so. But wow, night shift. Well, I tried that for a brief period of time in my working career, and I found it just turns your life upside down.
Yeah,
literally.
I used to actually quite like doing night shifts, but that's because I've always loved a night owl.
Well, you know, I didn't mind it myself, but I preferred more of like a second shift where I would start at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 3 o'clock and work till 11 or midnight. That would be okay.
See, them ones always bugged me because you can't do anything with your day.
Well, yes, you can. I mean, depending on what time you get up. I was developing a pretty decent start time to my day early enough in the morning to do things, including schedule doctor appointments for morning hours and still get to work on time. I even had job interviews during the morning hours, so if I wanted to, I could move on to another job and not have to play games with not going to work one day for a job interview.
Yeah, trying to explain to the boss why you need a day off.
I'm about to commence on my part, so let's all work together. Tra-la. He even shaved nice and close this morning. The bald American's got to look right.
Oh,
I did notice that you shaved your beard as well.
No, it's still there. It's just white. I trimmed it. It mixes in with my skin so much. I mean, most older guys like myself get the white beard, but the skin tans so you can see it. But with me, I don't tan. I burn.
I tan really easy. I only have to go out in the middle of the night and I start tanning.
Are you Italian? You got some Italian in you?
No, it's a Welsh thing, isn't it?
I guess
Well,
so,
Welsh
because
people tend
when I
to
think of
be
Wales,
fairly
I don't
dark
think of
skinned.
people who tan easily.
No, most Welsh people that have got long Welsh heritage tend to have more of an olive-coloured skin,
Okay.
and they
Well, a
tan
friend of
quite
mine I
quickly.
used to work with, he's
Doesn't show up on
Italian.
camera though, unfortunately.
Well, I'm sorry.
It doesn't show up very well on camera.
Oh, you mean your complexion? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
If you're tan, it doesn't show you. Correct.
Yeah. Whereas my skin is actually. I mean, I can put. You can't see it on here because of the light, but I can actually put my hands in opposite directions, and the back of my hand is completely different colour to the front of my hands.
Oh, well, yeah. That's going to happen. I mean, even my hands tan eventually.
Yeah.
But it's all my gloss points that burn.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why. Perhaps
Duke says he started at 9:30. Duke says he started at 9:30 until 7:30, and I've been doing this for 11 years now. I was also working during the day on Sundays until recently. Too old for that now. Haha.
Well, I'm glad that you're working one shift and it's settled on that, because I do know a friend of mine who's a police officer. In his first few years on the job, he went from working days to nights. I mean, overnights within 1 month's time. 2 weeks one shift, 2 weeks another, and it was just killing him. But that's how you do it in the Chicago Police Department.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when I worked in British Steel when I was younger, I used to work 4 days one week, and then the following week you'd do 3 nights, and then you go back to 4 days the following week.
Oh.
Yeah, I've heard that about some manufacturing industries where they do have rotating shifts for employees. So yeah, that's well, you can get used to anything, but that's got to be quite a challenge.
Yeah, because it's 12-hour shifts as well.
Right.
It wasn't. I was all right on the night shift, but then you have a couple of days off. But because I was working 2 jobs. When I was working nights there, I was working breakfast shifts in a hotel.
Oh my goodness.
And when I was working day shifts at British Steel, I was working night shifts at the hotel, working on the bar.
Okay.
Why were you working 2 jobs? It seems like I would assume you were getting paid a pretty good dollar in the steel industry.
The part we worked in was actually making the accommodation blocks for the army. So they used to make each room individually, like a prefabricated, make it so it's a prefabricated room.
Right.
Take them out to site on trucks, and then they'd bolt all the rooms together, and then just put brick wall up the outside of it. And it meant that they could build an entire accommodation block in like 4 weeks, from nothing to completed.
But you had 2 jobs, so was there a
says-
reason for that? I'm sorry, Mikey. Go ahead.
That's right. Yeah, I had too much time on my hands. I had one job and I had too much time to think, so I got a second job as well.
Okay.
Just to keep me busy. And because it meant that I could get more money.
Yeah, the tax man liked you.
James says, I have the Scottish side from my dad. I just burn and go back to looking like I've never seen the sun.
Well, I guess we're the same. I'm not saying I'm Scottish, but I definitely have the same kind of complexion.
Duke says it's hard to sleep studies during the day. Oh, it's hard to do sleep studies during the day. Yeah, I imagine it is. Unless you're nocturnal like me.
Well, from what I've been told, the human body gets the best rest between roughly 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. So to be able to fight off that impulse to want to sleep overnights for the brief time I was doing it was the biggest problem, because my concentration would lapse very easily unless I kept myself busy.
See, I've always been someone that stays up more at night and prefers to sleep during the day.
Same. but it's detrimental now because, like, as I was saying to Bron, well, she's noticed obviously that I tend to stay up modeling and all that sort of stuff, which she would prefer to. Well, she starts in the morning, but yeah, she goes to bed earlier and all that sort of stuff. But she mentioned that it's only since I left Air Force that I'm having longer nights. But I pointed out that, like, most of my career was working rotating flight line shifts. It was only 4 years where I was doing day shift only, so the rest of it was we do A shift, which is basically 7 till 4. B's was say 3 till midnight, and then C shift was midnight till 7 a.m. And we'd tend to do A's, B's, B's. Sorry, no, days, late, A, B, C, and then it'll start again. So day shift was rectification, so actually just fixing the planes during the day. Late was of course the same deal, so rectifications. But A, B, and C shift were the flight line ones, where you're seeing planes in, out, refueling them, servicing them, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So one was for maintenance, rectification, and prevention, and the other one was flight line. And I tend to want to stay on a flight line because it's where all the fun stuff happens. Like, go home, get your bag, get on board. But yeah, I tend to I think I tend to be a night person, have trouble sleeping. I think.
Yeah.
My daughter's the same. Well, one on this.
Does your daughter live with you and your wife, John?
No, she's
He's pushed him out the nest already.
yeah. She's about, I'm trying to remember now. I think she's about close to 4,000 kilometres north. She's up in Townsville in Queensland.
Okay.
Studying marine biology.
When I was watching that, I said I was watching that Tony Robinson walks in history last week. And
good old Baldrick.
Yeah. And it looks a lot of the Australian history and everything. There's a story of that safe cracking one, and as soon as it said he started walking around and said, "We're here in Townsville," I'm like, that's where John's daughter is.
Yeah.
She's in university there. And Kay went, "Is she? How do you know that?" I said, "Because he told us."
Because I talked to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Kaylee, how's her models coming along? The German vehicle set.
I think she's considering them pretty much finished.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah. She's buying some wooden stuff now because she wants to make a little trench diorama. So.
Okay.
We were looking yesterday because I've got a book called The Tommy's Manual 1916. And it's basically made up of all the different infantry and Royal Engineers instruction manuals and stuff.
Yes.
For different things to do with the battlefield and things like that. And in it are the diagrams with the measurements for what was supposed to be the ideal trench system that they would make.
Yes, my father had a similar book that I kept for myself after he passed on, and I have a similar. As I said, it's a similar book. I can't say it's the same, but in there are diagrams with complete dimensional, drawings and everything to construct your very own trench.
Yeah,
and I believe they were official British Army drawings.
Yeah.
So, Mikey.
It's quite cool. Yes.
So, now you finish what you're saying.
No, it's all right. Well,
I was going to ask. Remind me again how the British soldiers came to be called Tommies. Was it a German nickname for them?
Yeah, that is a good question.
Yeah. I think it goes back before that, to be honest. Because Rudyard Kipling wrote Tommy Atkins before the First World War, didn't he?
I'll rely on you to answer that. I don't know much about Kipling. Except that he lost his son in the war.
Yeah, Jack. It's a good play that as well. Good film.
Right, that's right. You did mention that, yes. But really, before the war, okay. And it wasn't something from
Yeah.
like John said, from say the Germans or the French or something like that. It was a domestic thing.
I'm not sure. Once I finish painting this, I'll have a look.
Okay, yeah, because that's a good question, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm asking because I don't actually know myself.
Sonic
Yeah, I
City
mean,
says, "Hi guys."
Yeah, the Aussies didn't have a name. The New Zealanders are called Kiwis, but the Aussies were just called Aussies, right, John?
Diggers.
Diggers. That's right. I did hear that word before, but is that detrimental or is that okay?
No, they'd call themselves that. So, yeah,
Oh, okay.
like digging in trenches and all that stuff.
It's interesting you mentioned that. The Canuck is a term to describe a Canadian, although I've always understood it's not a very complimentary one. But yet there is a professional hockey team in Vancouver, British Columbia, named the Canucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, according to the Royal British Legion Institute, the origins of the term Tommy is widely disputed. However, the most common interpretation is that the term comes from Tommy Atkins, which is slang for a common soldier in the British Army. It is
Okay.
known to have been used as early as 1743. However, the term Tommy was chosen as a generic name by the War Office in 1815.
Holy
So there
cow,
you
it's
go.
been around a while.
So end of Battle of Waterloo was 1815, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Yes. Holy moly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the other date, 1743, and that's almost 300 years ago.
Yeah.
Older than my country.
Well, you learn something new every day, and that is a very eye-opening factoid.
Mm.
I kind of thought it was a name given to them by the Germans, to be honest, or the French.
Modmin's coming in. Is she coming in? Is she coming on the channel?
Ah,
Yes, she is.
good morning,
Hello.
Tiffany.
Morning. Well, afternoon.
Afternoon,
Evening.
right. Yes. All is good, I hope.
Okay.
Everything's
Modmin
okay.
sounds like
Stressed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
you're just woken up, mate.
No, time did I wake up?
Oh, I got a question. May I ask it?
About 8ish. Yeah, give us 2 seconds.
BC 11.
Yeah, go on, Jim.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
appreciate it.
Sorry.
You just said mate to Tiffany. That is a word that you use whether it's male or female, doesn't matter. You say mate.
Yeah,
to
it just
Oh,
means
okay.
friend.
Okay. I'm learning all kinds of stuff today.
Nah, I've been awake since about 8ish.
You were awake long before me then, because I didn't get to sleep till nearly 5 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, I think it was. I went to bed. What time did I get off the PlayStation?
Staying up on the PlayStation, you naughty person.
Do you know what? I think it was only about midnight. I was up until. Normally, I'm up until about 2-3 o'clock on there.
Mm-hmm.
I jumped into bed. I'm surprised it wasn't ridiculous out there last night, because it was the other night with the riots and that going on. Kids
Riots?
decided to gather. Yeah. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
Sonic.
ridiculous.
Good morning, Sonic. Or good afternoon to you, Sonic. You're in Scotland. Oh,
Yeah.
riots, huh? Well, I'm fearing that coming November.
Yeah, places are being burnt up and
Oh my
smashed
God.
up and everything.
What's going on out there, Tiffany?
Can't discuss it too much.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I'm trying to find a way to describe.
Okay, that's fair enough. I understand. I'm sorry to hear that. That doesn't do anybody any good.
No.
Mm. It just seems to me that the people, and it's not, you can label them what you want, but it seems to me that the people in general have had enough.
Oh
Enough's enough.
yes.
But it takes a lot for Australians to march in the street. I think we should be up in arms more.
Yeah, don't say that, John. The British government are watching for people online saying that now.
Are they?
Yes,
No,
they're
I'm
actually
talking about
arresting people
issues
that
like,
say it.
the portions of chocolate bars and stuff. The important issues, the big issues.
Yeah.
Basically, I've noticed that in a lot of places now they're actually enforcing curfews to try and stop stuff like this. But people have decided to start doing it on the daytime. So
Yeah. So that went
Yeah,
well.
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, so they're going to be ration boxes. So I'm going to do metal ration boxes, I think. The ammunition boxes.
What model is that universal carrier, Mikey? Is that the Gecko or the Tamiya?
Tamiya one.
Okay, that is what you're working on, right? Or are you just working on part of your diorama?
No, I'm working on the universal carrier.
Okay.
Okay, so they were like a brown ammunition boxes were like a sort of brownie colour.
Oh, blimey, right here. Yeah, what I'm doing is I'm taking 10 at a time, the track links, and I'm just drilling them out and cleared them, getting ready to install pins. And doing it at groups of 10 at a time can wind up moving very quickly. In fact, once I'm done, I need to wash these things. There's a release agent they use on this white metal that needs to be soaked off, so I'm going to have to give these things a bath.
Yeah.
But it's moving along quite swimmingly.
I don't think you've got a brown that'll do it. This.
Well, thank you, Jim, for your kind comments for the last YouTube thing I uploaded.
Oh yeah, that's a nice model. That's really nice. And you're serious? People had an issue with it being a pink box. Are we kidding?
Well, 3 people that I know of.
Right.
There's a forum online called modelshipworld.com, and it's an American one. And there, a couple of people there were just like, "Nah, I'm not going to build that. It's pink. The box is pink."
Good
and
God.
Are they not comfortable with their
sexuality? Clearly not. It's
I
weird,
wasn't going to
isn't
say
it?
that, but yeah.
Well, it's a perfectly legitimate word. It's in the right context.
Yeah.
They're probably Americans.
I don't know. I didn't look into it.
Yeah, you're right. It's not even worth considering, but it's interesting that when you mentioned that, I have to admit I was kind of astounded by that. I think, what?
So the trouble with this guy's sort of YouTubey stuff is, it's a lot of verbal diarrhea. I don't know when to stop just talking crap. And if I just left that stuff off, there'd be no detriment or whatever. But I tend to disparage some organisations and people that really don't deserve it, I think.
Yeah.
But,
Well,
because I'm
nonetheless,
unscripted and doing it all live, because I just can't be bothered editing.
yeah. Well, nonetheless, that's a nice model. You did a great job, and I'm always impressed with anyone who builds a sailing ship model because it's just something I look at and I don't know if I've got not so much the ability to do it, but the patience to see it through.
No, I think everyone, if you build scale models, like if you have a couple under your belt of just a couple of planes, couple of tanks, whatever your mojo is, I think it's the same transferable skills to do ships. And as you've seen, like I don't tend to do just one thing. Like I like to sort of move around and
Yes, you
have
do.
a hand in everything.
Very admirable.
And I do primarily go for aircraft because that's my first passion. Like it was my job as well as just a hobby. But I do tend to like I love my favorite book series is Patrick O'Brien's Aubrey Maturin series, which Master and Commander was based on, the Far Side of the World. And that whole period, I just this period of I guess it's enlightenment. We're talking about everything coming together at once, so science and exploration and all that stuff. I find it endlessly fascinating.
Yes, indeed. I mean, the world was being discovered and explored, and men like James Cook and others.
Yeah.
And Magellan was a sailor.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you moved around the world at that time. There wasn't anything else.
Right, let's have a look. Got a couple of comments.
Yes. Duke says, "Hey Jim, have you heard of the term clit? It's an old Australian term for a friend."
Yeah.
Let's see, and cobber. Yes, I have, but only as a nickname. There was a pilot with the nickname of Cobber.
Okay.
Cobber Kane, I think his name was. I don't know if it was World War I or World War II, and I'm not sure if he was an Englishman or a Australian, but I've heard the name Cobber, but not as a reference to, like what we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, it's you just it's not used so much these days, but g'day Cobber, how are you, mate? Sort of thing.
Oh, okay, all right.
We used to have a sergeant when we were on basic training. He called everyone skip rat.
I'm sorry, what was
No
that?
matter who you were, he used to call everyone skip rat.
Skip
rat.
Skip rat.
Wow. Okay.
And then someone who goes dumpster diving, sort of thing.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Sonic says a bit like mucker. Yeah.
Mucker. And that is an English term?
Yep. Again, it means friend.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Or friendiai, which is Welsh for friend. Tiff says, I was actually thinking about that word, Sonic. Steve says, hi, guys. Hello, Steve.
Hello, Steve. How are you, mate? How's the Cold War going?
Did you say how's the Cold War going?
No, Coal Lorry.
Coal Lorry.
Is Miak kit?
Come on,
I'm
John,
about
40 years behind
40
the
years too late on that one.
We know Australia's a little bit
legitimately
behind.
confused.
We know America's young, but they are still on the same timeline. Tiffany says, "Hey, Steve," and Sonic says, "Hi, Steve." And Steve says, "I'm an oldie and use guys for everyone. No offense, Modman."
Yeah.
Tiff says, "No offense taken. I can be rather manly, Steve."
I can. I always got called one of the lads or one of the boys when I was in school. Just because I
can imagine
was
you
in
could
no
kick
way
Sonic's
girly.
backside.
I was in no way girly back then.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
I imagine you could
do what you want.
kick Sonic kids a touch if you needed to.
Probably. I can lift him.
Just pick him
Can
up
carry
and
him.
launch
I think you've been carrying him for years.
No, I can literally pick him up.
Ah,
Yeah, he does look like like a featherweight or welterweight if he was a boxer.
Yeah. Sonic says that's a scary thought, Tiff. You've known me long enough. Steve says, don't ask Jim. It's a sore subject.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Steve. Yeah, well, I'm sorry, mate. Many aren't not where you begin with a kid. I've always said try it to me. Get a Kubelwagen, a Schwimmwagen, something like that.
Yeah.
To me, Airfix.
Yeah, there you go. Great idea.
And then Sonic says, certain words tend to lose their true meaning nowadays.
They do
Yeah,
indeed.
you're right about that. Mm-hmm.
like mutual respect and things.
Deductive reasoning, common sense, intelligence.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're talking. I don't understand what you just said there, Jim.
Well, there's a friend of mine, if I may take a moment. There's a friend of mine who's a very good friend of mine. I've known him a long time, but he spent a good portion of his adult life living with his parents, and they, of course, passed away. I miss them very much. They're great people. But, he was sheltered from having to grow up for a long time. And it wasn't something deliberate. It just happened. And so there's a lot of times he'll ask me a question and I'll say, Ken, you can think that through yourself, And it is that he's not dumb. He's not stupid. He just doesn't utilize what we all have.
Yeah, he's not been taught to do it.
Exactly. It's not a first instinct.
Yeah, so that might actually work that.
Well, I mean, it can sometimes irk me a little bit because I feel like I'm just his shell answer man.
Okay.
Burning off those bingo wings, Mikey.
Bingo wings. Yeah. So you talk about the fat under the arms? When you-
Yes, John.
Okay. It's what we call tuck shop arms.
What's that? I'm sorry?
Well, say if Oprah puts up a hand and says, you get a car, she waves her arms around, you get the flappy bit of sort of soft meat under the, in between the elbow and the shoulder. So we call them either tuck shop arms or buy nows, because that's what your auntie would say, buy now, buy now, buy now.
This is a most educational show today, Mikey. I'm learning so much.
I know, right?
Yeah, tuck shops are, what we call the canteens in schools, where you can buy food at lunch.
We can buy the sweets and stuff.
Yeah,
Tuckers and tucker.
we used to call them lunchrooms.
Oh, we had like
we
our
had canteens, but we had separate tuck shop. Oh, Modmin, in half an hour, would you be able to keep running the show? Because I've got to go for an appointment. I've got to take Dave for an appointment.
Well,
Would you be able to keep
it's
running
your
it
channel.
until
You can just kick us out. You can just close the door behind you.
Yeah, I can do.
I could, but I trust Tiff.
Oh, you
If
really
it's
should.
just you, John, I wouldn't. But
Well, that's clear. I don't get admin ability.
No, just
no
me.
surprise.
I'm special.
Mm.
we know that.
You're supposed to agree, Mikey. Oh, I did a thing yesterday.
Ooh, legal?
Yes.
Okay.
I went and bought hobnobs.
All right.
That reminds me, I've still got Tim Tams in the cupboard.
Well,
You're wasting them, Mikey. You should be consuming them. Tim Tam Slam, mate.
Oh,
Nothing
they've been
like
in there
it.
nearly
Tim
2
Tams to
weeks.
share on the show, but I ate them all. So,
Oh, I'm telling you, John, when I had my first time Tim, I was like, holy cow, what have I been missing all my life?
well, they're just a biscuit, and as our good friend James Skiffins and Malcolm Childs would say, it's just like a penguin. However, it is a thing that is, if you fly, say, Qantas internationally or whatever, they literally carry, they bring everyone a Tim Tam. and all that sort of stuff. It is an Australian thing, ubiquitous. Everyone gets a Tim Tam,
Yeah.
and you must like them. Which is why, in a way, I was defending them to the death at Telford, because it was, it's I guess national pride, even though I'm not a shareholder in Arnott's.
Sonic says Mikey had a naffy, I believe. I did in cadets anyway. Yep.
Naffy? Yeah.
And speaking of naffy guards, Mr. Evans says, good afternoon, all.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Gary. If you want to come
Gary.
up, you are more than welcome.
I will
Good
post the
morning,
link in again.
Gary.
See, we didn't call them naffies. We called
Sonic
them.
says, hey, Gary. Well, the reason we called them naffy is because in the military we had the Navy, Army, and Air Force Institute, which
Yeah.
is like they ran the recreation rooms and the bars and stuff.
So we had
Oh,
Army and Air Force together. It was Afghans. It's Army Air Force Canteen Service.
okay.
We would just call it trash cans, or trashies for short. The Navy went their own way. They didn't trust Air Force or Army to run it, which is odd. And of course, when you're on a ship in the middle of what they would say Ogden, then all bets are off anyway. So it was a bit hard for them to manage. So they did their own thing. But I can't remember what they called it because it wasn't Navy. But they used to have the trucks that would come around to the different squadrons and stuff. If you can't get there, they'll come to you.
Yeah.
Down at Nowra, which is our HMAS Pelican, our main aviation base for Australian Navy. They call that truck
Steve says, which
the
hobnob?
Roach Coach.
Steve says, which hobnobs?
Oh, very important question.
Milk chocolate ones. Once with chocolate on top.
Nice.
I gotta
The
take a
cheek
wee
says,
bit of a
Mothman,
break.
the power. The power!
Do it.
I will be watching, I'll have it on my phone while she's in
Yeah.
her appointments. Sonic says, please don't say chocolate.
They are the chocolate ones.
He says, National Army and Air Force. No, it's Navy, Army, and Air Force Institute.
There's you tell.
Right idea, but not correct. He also says, tuck shop for grown-ups who likes to play soldiers. Well, this thing with the British, because it was called the NAFI because it ran across all three services. So they even run the ones on the ship, but they supply the ones on the ship. The crew run it themselves when they're on the ship, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, I'm not even sure.
He says,
I have to ask
damn
a
you,
pusser.
Tiff, you said chocolate. Yes.
Oh, do you call Navy people pussers over there? Is that a
The
term you've heard?
the pusser was the ship's clerk in charge of the money and
yeah,
stuff.
so it's purser, yeah.
Yeah.
No, pusser is in with the white
Yeah.
hat. They look like the pus squeezed out of a pimple.
Oh no, they were actually called. That was their job title. They're pussers.
Yeah, we use the Queen's proper English or King's and call it purser because he holds a purse.
Yeah.
But all Navy people are pussers.
Yeah. We call them matlows.
What else we got? This is nicknames for SAS. We call chicken stranglers here. Is that what do you call them there?
No one would dare call the SAS that in the UK.
Yeah, not a chance.
They'd be through your windows and you'd be dead by dawn.
Oh, they do that. Yeah.
Well,
not to
one of
be
the guys
trusted.
on Bravo 20 was Australian SAS, wasn't he?
Not sure what Bravo 20 is.
Bravo 20 was an operation in the first Gulf War led by Andy McNabb to go and destroy communication lines for the Scuds.
That one.
And they decided to go in off foot, and they basically ended up getting chased all across Iraq. And all but some of them got killed, a couple of them got killed, most of them got captured, and Chris Ryan, who was actually a reservist SAS, he managed to escape to think it's Saudi or something. Whatever the country is next to it.
Yep.
To Kuwait.
Sonic says Navy. I meant to say Navy.
Yeah.
Steve says, I don't have any hobnobs, but I do have a couple of Tunnocks caramel wafers. Ooh.
Those sound good too.
Tonics.
Oh, I love those things. I could eat a full packet in one sitting.
Oh, what are those big round things? They're about
Tea
about
cakes.
Tea cakes, right? They're bloody brilliant. So our version of those are just chocolate royals, but they're bloody good.
Yeah. Filled
I
with
like
jam.
Jaffa cake. Jaffa cake.
Oh, yeah, Jaffa
Oh,
cakes I found uninspiring.
Speaking of Jaffa cakes, Mikey, there is a new
Mhm.
flavour.
Is it? Of course
Cola
it is.
bottles.
Cola bottles.
Limited edition cola bottle Jaffa cakes. I bought a packet and holy crap, are they good.
They're
It,
good.
lit-
Okay.
it just tastes like...
You do remember that you were recently diagnosed with diabetes, right?
I know. And speaking of, I think that appointment's actually tomorrow. No, I had these before I was diagnosed with diabetes. Before I was told I had it. This was about 2 months ago. I had this packet, and it literally just tastes like they've melted a cola bottle on top of the cake part of the Jaffa cake and then covered it in chocolate.
That does sound alright.
They're actually very good for hypoglycemic attacks. Jaffa
Because they're
cakes.
that high in sugar.
Well, they're high in normal refined sugar because the jelly and the chocolate, but they're also high in carbohydrates, which the body converts into glucose over time because of the cake. So they give you the fast hit of sugar that your body needs to come back out of it.
Yeah.
And then you have the carbohydrates that stops your body going back into it.
Right.
Until you can get some food and stuff.
Cool. Because I know there's hypo and hyper. I just can't remember
hypo is low, hyper is high.
Right.
Hypo is low. It's opposite to what you think because people use the word incorrectly.
Yeah, it's like hypothermia. That means you're below your normal body temperature.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've always remembered it as hyper, which is the higher version, because when you're hyper, you're going like 10 miles a bloody hour, like 100 miles an hour. That's how I've always remembered it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So anything below 4 millimoles is hypoglycemic.
Right. I don't actually know how they're going to control mine just yet. That's how I'll find out tomorrow. I'll find out.
Depends how high your blood sugars were.
I think, in fact, I can tell you because I've got the...
Because you had your HB1AC, haven't you?
Yes, stupid bloody app.
It had to have been above.
DJ's quite active in the comments this morning. He's had some good. Has he had some good Highlander Grog coffee?
He doesn't really drink coffee. Drinks tea. Oh. But no, he's on the juice at the moment.
Oh.
He's drinking juice.
He's being fairly healthy for a change.
Well, there's a lot of sugar in most juices. You have to watch that.
Yeah.
A lot of people think they're drinking healthy, but there's a lot of sugars in juice.
My HbA1c was 49.
Oh, so you're only just diabetic then?
Yeah. The thing is, though, like, when I had the doctors that I've got up here, they do a full health check.
Yeah.
In the month that you were born.
Yeah.
So I had like my weight, my height, my blood pressure, my blood's all taken in October of last year. Yeah. And it was actually, I think it was below. I think it was like, it went down to like 38 or something.
Yeah. So
it's gone up like to 49 in 6 months.
Yeah. So you're only just diabetic. Because mine was 61.
You do know,
So-
Mikey, it's not a competition.
No. But what I'm saying is that's how they decide what treatment they're going to give you. So because you're
Yeah.
only just diabetic, they'll probably just say diet and exercise for you.
Yeah, okay. So
Yeah,
But because
probably.
mine
am I
was
right in
over six,
thinking you went
But-
to a diabetic information session last week? Is that right?
yes, that's why I know this.
All right, so that's
About what
that's where you
training.
get to choose which form of diabetes you would like to adopt. Yeah.
It's where,
the
it's where
thing
you
is,
get choose your diabetes share.
yeah. The thing is, though, it's really difficult for me to exercise right now because
Yeah.
like my back and my pelvis.
Yeah.
Diet, I don't have an issue with. I've bought like loads of bloody healthy stuff and like low sugars. Wait,
Yeah.
I bought loads of low sugar stuff. They sent me the
Hmm.
higher sugar stuff, so I got all my money back
Yeah.
because I sent it back.
Yeah. It's not just about eating healthy though. It's about eating stuff in the right proportions and things.
Yeah. Well, I don't
It's-
eat much anyway. I eat maybe like
Yeah.
2 meals a day, not even that.
Yeah. See,
This is a
even
very
that
educational
is
sort of
that
like
is
show
a
we
bad
do.
is a bad habit for diabetes patients
Mm.
because if you skip a meal, you'll eat more of what you don't need on the next meal because
No.
you'll want to feel more calories and stuff.
Well, your body
No,
tends to hang on to
when-
calories and carbs because it doesn't know when it's going to get it next if it's not being fed on
Yeah.
a regular basis.
That's
The
the thing.
thing is,
It'll hold on to it.
when I eat small portions. I don't eat
Yeah.
massive portions.
Yeah, because you're only eating small portions and you're missing meals. Your body will hold on to what it is getting, so in case it doesn't get
Mm.
food.
Yeah. It's the way I've been for
You-
quite a while.
Yeah,
Um,
you've got to eat regular meals and the right proportion and things like that. I've started doing it, and I was like, I didn't eat breakfast. I occasionally had dinner, and then I just had tea.
mm,
But now I have all three meals, and I'm actually starting to lose weight, even though I'm eating more.
yeah.
It's weird.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's good.
because my levels were higher. They put me straight onto medication, but if they've been what yours are, it's just been diet and exercise to reverse it.
Thing is, I've been on metformin before,
Yeah,
but that was for a different reason.
yeah.
Let's have a look. Comments. Sonic says chicken chokers.
Chicken chickens.
Yeah.
He goes, cola bottle jaffers. Yeah, because I shared the packet with him.
Well, that's your
shared
first
your
mistake.
Yes, I am very, very kind, and I do share my Jaffa cakes.
It must be
Alright.
love.
Yeah.
He says hypo and hyper keep getting mixed up, and Tiff just dropped the F-bomb. Naughty girl.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
it's,
noticed.
punished.
We were not going to draw
I-
attention to it. Thanks, Sonic.
These have all sworn on Mikey's streams before.
Oh, fuck yeah. Have I
Sorry.
mentioned that I've actually been in a hyperbaric chamber?
Well, now you have.
Yeah, I've
That
been in a
explains a
hyperbaric
lot.
chamber. So
Pure
that
oxygen.
yeah. So what they do is they take away the oxygen to see how you perform under high
Did they notice
altitude.
any difference with you?
So here's the thing. So what they get you to do a simple thing. So they give you just a bit of paper and
Trials forward,
exercises, whether it be counting or draw patterns and all that sort of stuff like that. And then they take the oxygen away to see how you perform. Now the deal is, it wasn't until after we came back down to sea level and all that sort of stuff like that. And they're saying, how'd you do? And everyone's sort of really, everyone sort of big dip into performance. But they didn't draw attention to the fact. So the guy who ran it used to be a J model pilot in the squadron I was in. And he couldn't be a pilot anymore because, no word of a lie, he was a small guy. Think of everyone's got small friends.
Yes, Sonic.
You, Sonic. he was going to start, say, starting number 2 engine. Now the switch for a J model engine start is in the, it's in the overhead panel. So he's got his hand on the switch, and he's holding the switch to the run position while he's out watching the prop starting to turn, and there's a certain percentage and doing that. And he sneezed like all of a sudden, and he dislocated his shoulder. So he did that. And he was no longer able to be a pilot. He couldn't pass the physicals anymore. So they went. He was in charge of the hyperbaric chamber. So him and I were mates for years. He's a great guy, still is. Anyway, so thankfully, when they're looking at everybody's results for the hyperbaric chamber and how did everyone do and all that sort of stuff, I was well down the bottom of all the testing. But the thing is, I didn't understand the question before they took the oxygen away. So clearly there was a baseline, a flat level.
It was always going to be a low curve, wasn't it, John?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I shouldn't be, I shouldn't have been surprised or I shouldn't be as embarrassed as I am now. But yeah, it was just sort of like, I'm just thinking, oh, I didn't understand the question. So
do you know what's even funnier, John?
Oh,
As soon as you said they put you in a hyperbaric chamber and removed all the oxygen, first thing I said was, did they notice any difference with you?
yeah. So I am not a smart woman. I just made an absolute mozza of it, eh?
Got some
Hey,
comments.
this is getting together pretty. This is nice.
Yeah.
Like building up the sides, starting to come together. Anyway,
Yeah,
comments.
let's catch up with the comments.
Yeah, hang on, let me just type this. There we go. Right.
Sonic says, just keeping myself distracted the best I can, going through a really tough time at the most. Sorry for spamming. It's okay.
Yeah, not a problem, Sonic.
Look after
Steve,
yourself, mate.
Yeah. Steve says, sorry to hear that, Sonic. Hope you're feeling better soon. Sonic says, out of my control, unfortunately, Steve. Just sick of others' BS. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Tiffany says, you're not spamming, Sonic. Don't worry. It's all right. Jim says, keep the comments coming, Sonic. It's all good. Sorry to hear about the tough times. You're amongst friends. You certainly are. He said she gave me one to try. Sharing
Just
is
one.
caring.
Just one.
I
You're
will,
lucky
I,
you
will
got a
ad-
whole one, mate.
I will admit it did take me about 3 days to eat the full packet of Jaffa cakes.
Oh, I thought you were about to say it took me about 3 days to give him just the one.
No, I opened the packet. I gave him the first one out of the packet.
Oh, okay. Well, that's very generous.
Yeah.
It's like giving someone your last roll.
It's almost but it's almost like you're the guinea pig.
Yeah.
Here, you try
it. Steve says, yes, keep it going, Sonic. Love your comments. And Sonic's put, thank you guys, with a bunch of hearts.
And I gotta ask a question here amongst both John and Mikey could answer this. Is there any intense inter-service rivalries, such as what we have here in the States with the Marines and the Navy and the Army and the Air Force and everyone else, because they're called flyboys. Navy is called squids. Army's called dog faces, and Marines are called jarheads. And they're all very uncomplimentary terms.
You
You'd
go
really
first,
be looking
Mikey.
for a fight if you were to say that to a Marine.
In the British forces, it's not nasty sort of rivalry. It's just friendly banter.
Oh, okay.
So
because Navy and Marine guys, I've heard have had serious brawls.
Even though we're competitive, we know that nobody in the armed forces means anything nastily.
Okay.
We're taught to assume that nobody means anything in a bad way.
Okay, fair enough. John?
So, yeah.
My take on it is, regardless whether you're, in your case, Marines, Coast Guard, Air Force, Army, Navy, a lot of it comes down to either testing or, like, if you want to join Air Force, you may be shepherded towards Navy, for instance. Depends how you do in testing and all that sort of stuff. And also it comes down to goals that the recruiting agency has about, like, hey, we need 15 submariners and everything else.
Right.
So in a way, what service you're in is what lies you're told in recruiting by people who have never been in a submarine. Okay, so that's part of my view on it. Now, I also have the view that it's really good that submariners are good at being submariners, because I have no idea. I've not been trained. I've not been on one, and all that sort of stuff like that.
I don't
And
think
it's the
I'd want to
same
go
deal
on
with
one.
aircraft, that you can to be a fighter. You can work on fighter aircraft as a maintainer and take the piss out of Hercs because you hate flying on them because it's not as nice as, say, the 747. But I think it doesn't matter. Like, go to basic training and your initial training and everything else, and what squadron and what FEG, as we call it, the force element group, you end up in, whether it be maritime, strike, fighter, or reconnaissance, whatever. Depends on availability numbers and recent discharges, because other people hate their jobs. So my view, and this is the John Marley view, is I actually don't like people that say hate me because I'm Air Force, because I did a course with Army once, and it was awful because every smoko, every sort of break, it felt like I was defending the honor of the Air Force and all that sort of stuff like that, and it was annoying because that's not why I was there. So I'll give you just a quick for instance. Question was, I heard you guys, when you deploy, you stay in hotels. Why is that? And I just sort of said, well, the deal is, if you guys make a mistake on, say, because this guy I was talking to is a clanky, as we call him, a tank, Ramey, like Remy, but RAEME, so Royal Australian Electrical Mechanical Engineers. Ramey, he was a clanky, and I have nothing against clankies. My dad was on. What you stay in hotels, why is that? And I said, well, because if we make a mistake, if my guys are tired and don't get a good sleep and all that sort of stuff like that, then the aircraft can fall out of the sky, people die. Whereas if you make a mistake on a tank, it'll come to a stop in a paddock. Then you could just send somebody else to go and get it, but you'll be okay. And he was like, oh, bloody bullshit, who came up with that crap? I'm just thinking, if you were Air Force, you'd be pissed off if I asked you the question and all that sort of stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of it's banter. There's rivalry. Anyone who takes it seriously just needs a quiet, good, hard, long look at themselves, I think.
Yeah.
Because all of us sign up to do something that's not about us. And by making it all about us, you're just being a dick.
Correct.
Okay. Well, I'd also like to preface my comments, as I should have done to begin with, was that, first of all, I'm not in the service. I don't know. I just going by what I've seen and heard. And it may have changed, of course, over the decades as far as inter-service relationships in the United States. I've never seen any fights breaking out at an Army-Navy football game. So the cadets and the regular seamen.
But to be fair, they don't do
well
chances very well either.
I'm sorry.
They don't even do chants very well though. So
well, that's I think in the I'll say the members of the UK. I don't want to just say the British. Lead the way with that, in my opinion, because now I don't know what goes on in Europe as far as like the Dutch, the Germans, the French, the Italians, or in South or Central America with the Brazilians and the Argentines. They're very fanatical, and the fans are a big part of the game, and they do their chants, but I think they're doing them in Spanish, so But yeah, we Americans don't do a whole lot of that here.
There's a photo there.
Oh, Jim. And that is
Steve Martin.
Steve is that Martin, you on the right, John?
Not Steve Martin.
Yeah, this is me in the blue.
Yes.
This is my sister-in-law Jen, who's it's her birthday today.
Happy birthday!
She's in the she was a reservist, but she's a medical officer. She's a heart specialist in civilian life. She's just been promoted to the equivalent of wing commander. I'm trying to remember what that is in the Navy. Anyway, wing commander.
Captain.
Anyway, captain. Yep. So she's captain.
That'll do.
And this is my So here, that's it. So 5 medals, 5 medals, very different ones. This is my brother-in-law, Anthony.
Wow.
Yeah, he's
He
been
looks like
around.
a Russian general.
Yeah.
He walks
So
with the
here's
left
the
shoulder
thing.
down.
So we're all, they're brother and sister, and I'm a brother-in-law because So that the 3 of us tri-service. Do you know what he said to me just before this photo was taken? I'll have a ticket to Central Station, thanks. He's a
Train guy.
bastard. So yeah, but that's it. So I love him. Well, I love them both to death. But he's currently serving in Papua New Guinea as Australian aide de camp and stuff. I can say that because he's been promulgated and all that sort of stuff. His previous job, he was the last official appointment that Prince Philip had before he passed away was with him. He's got a photo of it and stuff like that. So he was he was working in Australia House in London and all that sort of stuff like that. So the deal is like he joined the well, all of us chose our services. We're all as proud of each other and what we've done collectively, as we are ourselves. But the thing is, of course, I know nothing about the jobs that they do. But that's why we have different services, because it's the same deal. Like, if Navy and Army had the air services in World War One, they had to have a commission to say, how can we do this better? Like, without sort of like one tainting the other. So should we specialise in it and all that sort of stuff? And they formed Air Force. So that's what it's all about. So if you think it's actually one over the other, it's not. It's just one can specialise in it, and all that sort of stuff. I will state that I accepted Navy are the senior service because 1, they are. 2, I like sailing ships. So, yeah. Really long answer to a simple question, and you shouldn't have asked it, Jim.
Well, I just had to know because you're both military men, and so it's you have a far more up close and personal experience with something like that. And I figure that no matter where in the world, there's going to be an inter-service rivalry, whether it's something, as you said, on a more palatable on more palatable terms, or and of course it's what I've seen in films. If you've ever seen the film The Last Detail with Jack Nicholson, that's a great film, by the way. It's early in his career, but he plays a Navy man, and anyway, there's a scene in there where they take down some Marines, and it's brawl. It's like a Western. It's all brawl. It's all fists, and they mean it. So I don't know if that really ever existed or whether it was just a Hollywood creation to provide.
I went to an Anzac Day march through Sydney. The last one I did with 37 Squadron, which is our Herc Squadron. And after the march through the city, we all went to a pub. So different units and all that have their favourites. And we just, it was the first march we did as a unit because before that we were actually all too busy being in the Middle East and stuff. So most of us were home at the time, apart from the people that were in the Middle East. Anyway, went to a pub, and there was one Navy guy there, or pusser as we call him, and he was drunk when we turned up from the march, and he just wanted to punch on and stuff, which is a bit ridiculous, because it was about, 100 of us, one of him, and all that sort of stuff like that, and he just kept on wanting to brawl. And none of us hit him. None of us, we were basically saying like, nah, come on, let me buy you a drink and all that sort of stuff. And he was just being a dick. And eventually it was the management asked him to leave. And that's what it's all about is like, we don't care what service, or I don't care what service you're in. You're one of us. You sign for me, the Queen's ransom, what's now the King's ransom, as they say. And, you get to do what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it.
Quickly go through the rest of the comments before I have to go.
Okay.
It's 1:30. Steve says 3 days to eat a packet of Jaffa cakes. I can do that in 3 minutes. Yeah.
If I wanted
I
to,
bet
I
what
could do
she's
it in
doing
30
is
seconds.
sitting there very slowly in front of you going, these are nice.
Or do you nibble on them like I would see the English nibble on those little sandwiches?
Sonic
I
just sits there in a cold sweat like, give me a fucking Jaffa cake.
No, I can put a full Jaffa cake in my mouth.
I eat digestives in one go.
I eat a couple at a time, and then I put the packet away.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you're having a sugar rush.
Put the packet away.
Yeah. Because your diabetes has suddenly gone out of control. Your score has gone from 49 to 200.
Boy.
Sonic says, if I can make people laugh or even put smiles on faces when I feel like crap, then I'll kind of then I will.
And I will.
I messed up, but then again, so am I. Oh, bless you, dude.
You're a funny
all
guy,
are in
Sonic,
somewhere.
and thank you for tuning in every week because
Yeah.
I love your
Cheers,
company.
mate.
He also says full moon, half moon, total eclipse. So that comes from an old Jaffa Cakes advert where a teacher is sat in front of a group of kids who are sat on the floor, and she's trying to explain the phases of the moon, and she goes, full moon, half moon, total eclipse. And she ends up doing it with every single Jaffa Cake because she can't stop eating them.
I like that. That's good advertising.
Yeah. Right. Before you go, Mikey, which banner is it that I play right at the end from the brand thing, like the videos?
Outro.
Right.
The
Okay.
one that says outro.
Okay.
And if you do the end stream and you press end stream at about 5 seconds ish.
Okay.
So about halfway through.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Have fun. Try not to overrun.
Cheers, Captain.
Yes.
Yeah,
See you, Mikey. Take care.
I'll
See you
be
Thursday.
watching on my phone.
Well, we'll be on our best behavior.
Yeah. Right, see you later.
Which doesn't say much.
See you on Thursday when we are back with 3 veterans and Spitfire.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Be seeing you.
Right.
Catch you
guys.
later.
Hooroo. So, Jim, surely you've got another burning question about how the rest of the world lives.
No, not really. But I was going to say that, Tiffany, regarding what you're dealing with, a borderline diabetic. My late brother was diabetic, and he wound up having the hypoglycemic issues, where he had a drop in his blood sugar, and he would literally become as weak as a newborn baby. And he had more than once difficult times trying to get to a source of sugar, so he wound up always carrying a candy bar or a snack of some kind with him so that he could give himself something quickly to maintain his equilibrium. I mean, people have fallen and died from a head injury due to something like that. But diabetic coma is what I think it's called, and people can actually slip into that and not come out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I went to school with a few people who were diabetic and who had to test the sugars. They were like type 1. I'm type 2, I believe. This is like, my body doesn't sort of, what's the word? Process insulin properly.
Right. That's the key issue with diabetes, right?
It's either you don't produce enough insulin or your body doesn't process it properly.
Okay.
Mine does both, basically, because of a different medical condition I've got. But like I say, I've worked with people who've had diabetes. I've been to school with people who've had diabetes. My mum has it. She's got type 2 due to other medical conditions and stuff. So, and I think both of my sisters had gestational diabetes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's something to watch out for. I mean, that's what my doctor told me when I informed him that my late brother, because he's been gone a few years, and I said he was diabetic. He says, well, siblings of a diabetic have to really keep an eye on that stuff. So I've made a better attempt at watching what I take in and exercising and keeping myself active enough. I mean, I've curtailed some of my physical activity, like exercising and weight training, but I like to get back to it because it does help my joints by having strong muscles around them. But anyway, the point is that I get annual checkups, and I get blood draws to make sure about that on an annual basis, per what my insurance would allow. And my doctor last time said all your numbers are good, so that's good. I mean, for me, that was good. But I do have to take. He said it was based on hereditary issues, not anything I'm doing personally, but I'm taking something to control my my cholesterol, because it's I guess the way he explained it is that by heredity it's out of order, not out of control, it's out of order. I mean, he told me I could go on a bread and water diet, it wouldn't change it. So I take this medication on a daily basis, and it keeps the number. If he's happy, then I'm happy. You know what I mean? I can't make head or tail of those things, because you can actually get your numbers if you want to through your patient portal, because it's you're the patient, you have a right to access to that. But reading it, I wouldn't understand it. Hey, DJ, good morning, sir. Top of the morning.
Hey, man.
G'day, mate. How you doing?
Anyway, I wish you well, Tiff. And yeah, it's a constant vigilance is really what it's going to be. John, it looks like you've got the hull sides glued on. Is that correct?
I have, yeah. So I've got to take it off again.
What?
Well, so what I've done is, all right. So you can see, I'll plonk the engine into the spot.
Yes.
Right. So if that goes there.
Yes.
So clearly, what it's missing is the drive shaft from the engine to the differential. But what I haven't put in is the other drive shaft that's going from the clutch mechanism out to the driving wheel. So I need to. There's two parts. Here we go. Turn that around. Where are we?
Oh, I can see them. Yes.
There we go. At the front there.
Yes.
Well, the lower side. So I need to squeeze that and this drive shaft in. I probably may not need to take it apart because it's a drive shaft. So it's long, it's thin, it's probably flexible enough.
I would hope not, because that could be a messy exercise.
But dropping this on, so when it comes to it, so we're talking about mini art. It just drops on. Yeah, it just fits. Oh, actually, it doesn't at the front because there's a couple of rivets. If I push past the rivets, it does. So
that's even
it's
better.
Actually, So they are really nice kits. I've only built one. No, what have I built? The first one I built was a Triebflügel. I don't know if you know what that is.
No, I don't.
Not a clue.
Okay, let me get it because it's worth talking about because it's ridiculous. Okay. I'll just be a sec.
Okay. Sonic, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, fucking stressed. There's an understatement.
Yeah, sorry to hear that, bud.
Can I just check out you're not getting any feedback or anything, are you?
No.
No, coming through loud and clear.
I mean, it's fine. Does anyone in the chat have feedback? If you could let us know.
I just sometimes I tend to get a wee bit of feedback because the mic picks it up, hence why I normally wear headphones, but sometimes it's fine, so I don't know, it's a weird one.
Yeah.
Whilst John is away, Duke is saying it's all yours now, Tiff.
Yes, you are in total control, Modman.
Yeah. Squarish is saying it sounds all good. Yep.
Cool.
That's perfect. Awesome. And
well,
John
Sonic, back. You're amongst those who care. So cheer up, mate. It's tough times don't last, but tough people do. That's what my dad always used to tell me.
Well, 2-3 years, something at least. It seems to be going on for. So it seems to be just dragging on. It's just an absolute nightmare. But
we'll get through it.
Hope so, man.
You just need John, to take your mind and let's see what John's got.
This is a Triebflügel. So
Oh yes,
Wow.
What
I've seen
the
that.
hell?
Yes.
right, so this never existed. It existed in a drawing. It may have got to wind tunnel testing, and all that sort of stuff. But the deal with this is, let me see if I got this right way around. So this is when everything's going wrong for the Third Reich and all that sort of stuff like that. All their aircraft, they no longer have air dominance or air superiority over the German lands.
Homeland.
Yeah. But having a big airstrip and all that sort of stuff is, basically a big target for, either bombing or strafing missions and all that sort of stuff. So the factories where they disperse the production of aircraft, like, FW-190s and everything else, everything they're building, we'll just have a factory and disguise that. But then sitting outside instead of a runway, if we have one of these sort of things like that. So what would happen is it's meant to be it's a rotating thing like that. It'll be that way. So it's meant to be start off as these are ramjets. So once you get up to a certain speed, the shape of it, you squeeze fuel in, it'll self-ignite, the compressed air, and it'll just keep going like a jet and all that sort of stuff. But initially, it'd be rockets to start it spinning and everything else. So that would happen. That would start spinning. This would lift up, and the deal is going to take off and then fly like that towards whatever it is, the bomber stream. Big guns at the front there and shoot whatever planes, and then the pilot would parachute out because they couldn't land these vertically. That technology just didn't exist. The trouble is, so if it existed, if they ever tried to fly one of these, what would happen is it would lift up and you've got that spinning around. You're going to have an element of friction in between the yellow band and the rest of it there. So what will happen is the rest of the body will start spinning in the same direction as the rest of the rotor, but at a slower speed. So you could probably then counteract that with a bit of input of rudder and all that sort of stuff. But the deal is rudders only work if you've got forward airspeed. So what would happen is if this could take off and fly, it can't fly horizontally because there's no lift surfaces. All it could do is go that way, but then it'll fall out of the sky. So what you need to do is maintain lift by flying upwards like that constantly. So it'll just go across the sky like that, which is why the guns, if you have a look on that side, are angled down. So if it's nose up, the guns are straight.
Right. Okay.
So the whole thing is just ridiculous. It would not have worked, but this is a mini art kit. It's the first one I built because I thought, how ridiculous. I need to have one of those in my life.
Was it a manned aircraft?
Yeah, it certainly was. So you got the cockpit there.
Hey, you draw the short straw today, Herr Feldwebel. You'll take that up.
Yeah, and it was the opposite of a mini art kit for a mini art kit because there's bugger all parts to it. There's two halves, front and back. You got the ring in the middle is separate, and there's probably about 6 parts on each of those. So there's really not much to it. Once it's flying, these would retract in. They'd close up like a clamshell and retract into the flying surface, and the wheel that it would take off from would close up, and it'll just be flying.
That's a lot of working parts.
Yeah, but it's just the thing is it's stupid, and Paul, the other scale modeling twin, hates it. He reckons I absolutely wasted my money and all that sort of stuff. So you get the idea. So it's just meant to fly along like that, but it would never have worked. But I got it because I'm just thinking somebody actually.
If we were to buy air models based on practicality, then maybe some of the stuff we have, I wouldn't have this Tiger tank because this was hardly practical at all. It was nothing but a mechanical nightmare.
Yeah.
The myth is it was this awesome vehicle. Well, you know what? The myth doesn't stand up to the truth.
That's right. Yeah. But the thing is, I mean, it's ingenious. It wouldn't have worked. They didn't get that far, but that's how desperate they were because they were out of options. So let's come up with something. It's a hell of a bow.
Well, the Germans also created something. I can't remember how it's pronounced in German. I think it's the German word for butterfly, but it was a surface to air missile. It didn't have an aiming system, but they would basically just fire it into a bomber stream, and it was meant to explode, kind of like a big flak shell, but it was a missile.
Yeah, that's sorry, it just puts me in mind that I can't remember the name of it. It's based on an aircraft. I think they called it the Avenger with GTA. It's based on the actual aircraft. It's like
Yeah.
this. It's basically it's like an aeroplane, but it's got huge,
Yeah.
big, massive like props on it. Allows it for a VTOL, vertical takeoff landing. So it goes up and down like that, and then at the end with the massive props on the end of the wings, when it takes off, it actually
Mm.
rotates. So
Yeah, it
then you're
transitions
able
into
to fly.
vertical flight. Yeah.
Yeah, you know the big things I'm talking about. These things are
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, so
I'd love to
that's
get a
great.
model kit of one of them.
that
Yeah.
is based on the V-22 Osprey.
That's right.
Osprey, that's the one.
Right, and whilst I've got the attention,
Hmm?
chat,
Comments?
need to go through the
Comments.
comments.
Yes. Keep up with them. Yes.
Steve says, mini art, this kit of mine has killed my love for modelling in one go.
Oh, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. There'll be
just-
other models.
Take your time, mate. Take your time.
Yeah, just
Build something else. Put it away for a while, John, like you
Yeah.
did with the sailing ship. 5 years. That wasn't something you sat there and forced down your throat.
No, the previous
Yeah.
ship took 11 years.
Well, that's fine.
mean,
but you got it done.
he did jump from go like he bought he had a load of kits, sold them all because they were a little bit harder than his skill level, and then bought a mini art kit. Just like we've all said, Steve, just put it aside. Try something like a Tamiya or an Airfix and just build your skill level up bit by bit. That's what I'm doing, because eventually I do actually. There is actually, I can't remember what it is. There is an Edward kit I want to get, but I know myself that I'm not good enough to do that yet.
I mean, Steve, with that comment there, I noticed something completely different, right? But it's the same kind of principle as my latest upload is a long mix. I've had this playlist, right, for the mix. I've had that sitting there for a while. I've tried it a couple of times. It was irritating me, so I just put it down. I left it. I done whatever, and roughly about, I think it's about a month or so later, I think it was, just recently, I thought I could give it another go. I just hit record, started mixing, and I think it sounded pretty decent. And it was on the first take of recording it, so I just left it and then came back to it and done it, and so.
Where's StreamYard? There it is. Right.
Yeah, I should leave it for a while and then come back to it, and it'll be good.
Stu says, sounds fine here. The boss says, I'm watching you.
Nah, Big Brother is there.
No. No, he's probably asking if you're finished yet.
We have a banner for that.
John, look.
Shit.
Right. Sonic says, look busy, the boss is watching.
Act important.
Yeah.
Steve says, wow, that's super cool, John.
It's so stupid, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's fun to build.
And we got a special guest.
Gary says, oh, I got one of those to build.
Yeah, it's a fun build. It was so stupid. I also bought a thing to go alongside it, which I've not put together. It's probably the most boring kit ever.
I agree with what Squarish is saying here.
Scaffolding.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's so the pilot can get in the bloody thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it works. Squarish says, I wouldn't be keen on ejecting right in front of a giant rocket-powered propeller.
Yeah, neither would I.
Slices
I don't
and
think
dices.
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just worst case scenario, like that thing with forward airspeed, you cannot stop that thing turning, and you are
Look what Duke
immediately
just
in front of it. So
Yeah. Yeah. So Duke says he's watching but can't do anything about it.
I'm sure ejecting in front of one of the big set of props would save you money and a haircut.
no, you're not wrong.
Yeah, well, it also saved them on a coffin too, because it wouldn't be a body.
Yeah,
Just be little cubes.
Yeah,
but it was a fun
you know,
build. I mean, there's nothing to it.
The Americans had a name for a Japanese rocket-powered suicide aircraft that they found on late war Pacific Islands. It was the Japanese called it the Oka, OKHA,
Yeah.
and it was loaded into a bomber. The pilot got in through the bomb bay into the aircraft itself, and then it was launched. Well, they were an absolute failure because Americans had air superiority and they shot them down before the rockets could launch. Well, when the Americans found them on islands like Okinawa and Iwo Jima, they
Mm.
called them baka, which I believe is Japanese for stupid.
Okay.
So yeah, desperate times call for desperate measures.
So I have put the link for Sonic's channel in the chat.
Ah,
If
oh,
everyone
I'll,
wants to check out his channel
I'll be doing that.
and see what kind of stuff he does. A lot of different stuff. He's got like happy hardcore. He's done some bootlegs that he's actually, I think, what is it? Your Ice Baby mix. You actually
Yeah, that's the one that said
created
the most.
Yeah, you created the backing theme, like the backing tune yourself.
Yeah,
and
they
it's
actually
actually
tuned
got
in some of the vocals.
Oh.
yeah, and he's actually got just over 8,000 views on it.
That's crazy.
Okay, you win.
It's to be honest, it's the one with the most views. I think after that, the next one has 1,000, just over 1,000. But
I think I'm like 6 subs or something. 6 subs away from 300.
Oh, great.
Get there slowly.
I've lost one. I'm on 101 last time I checked.
Oh,
we should still get 100.
Someone unsubscribed from you, Tiffany? That's not nice.
I'm not really bothered.
No.
I mean, I can unsubscribe if you want and just give you 100 exactly. Perfect.
No.
You're
You're not allowed to. To be fair, I'll just log into your account and just resubscribe. So, you know.
Oh well, touche, checkmate.
So yeah, I've put up there. If anyone fancies listening to his music whilst the model, the link's up there. Duke says you will not be needing to eject.
No.
You've itchy bugs.
Hey.
I mean, at Mini Art, I gotta give them credit. They they produce kits that no one else would consider putting out there, and they've got a hell of a diverse range of things like air conditioners and satellite dishes that stay out the side.
Oh
of
yeah,
buildings.
yeah, all their little
Yeah,
accessory
and
sets. Yeah.
They're amazing in
They've
that
created a
respect.
market for themselves.
Yeah. So if you're into dioramas, which I've built one, then they're a company to look at. This is like I've been modeling non-stop since mid 70s. This is a challenging kit, like no bones about it. These mini art things are a challenge, Steve. So it's just stick with it, or put it aside. One of the two.
Yeah.
The thing is about this hobby. It has a wonderful way of just sitting there patiently in a drawer until you're ready for it again. And you can do whatever you like and nothing will change. You don't even have to get dust of it. It's just
that's right. I mean, I've had a bit of stubbornness in me where once I start a kit, I'm bound and determined to finish it. And over the last few years, with who knows how long the good Lord will keep these hands and eyes functioning properly, I've lightened my stance on that, and I've said, okay, well, if this is going to be a problem for me now, move it over and start on something else.
all right. So I'm trying to get this drive shaft in without having to take off the sidewall. Well, it doesn't fit so well. It's got a bit of a warp in it.
The thing is,
maybe
are
you
you going
can,
to see that once the top is on it?
Yeah, and also you can also maybe chop it down just a little bit at a time.
Let's see, if we do it that way. Oh, I'll tell you what, you're not going to see it at all.
Exactly. Yep.
Well, there you go then.
There
Even
you go,
with all the
mate.
hatches
There's
off,
your answer.
you cannot see it. So nah.
It doesn't matter if it's got a little bit of a warp.
Drink it
It'll
all
be
night,
fine.
mate. Export light.
Yeah, that's a lot better than having to remove the whole side of the vehicle, John. That's a little bit too labor intensive.
I have a feeling even if you did that and then put it back on, there'd still be a tiny bit of a bend. It's probably just a smidgen too long.
What it is so that side where it joins to
Yes.
the short side, it's a little bit proud. Like if I had lined, see, there's a bit of flex. There.
I see.
So the whole gearbox is slightly.
That's probably the root of the issue right there.
Yeah. But I'm not going to change anything. So once this engine drops in,
that's fine. Yeah, keep it simple.
Yeah. So, like,
Kiss.
as I said, I'm not going to put
Aye.
in the
Yes.
the main drive shaft yet, but that'll go in. Join those two up. So yeah, engine to the differential, clutches out to the drive wheels. Get in there. So we're just about on 2 hours. So I'm going to wrap this up while I'm talking because So
Yep.
the next step for me then, about halfway through this build already. So sidewall going on.
Complete, yep.
That's in progress now. Next step is an extinguisher. There's one
Right.
on each side. That'll be red apparently with a black
Right.
nozzle. Radiator goes in the rear, and obviously that would line up with where the fan is on the rear of the engine there. And then a couple more, that's sort of it for the interior. Then we start looking at the wheels and stuff on the outside. So
Right.
it's getting there. It's getting there. So after 4 hours, it's looking like the inside of
Yeah,
a
it's looking
tank.
good. I
Yeah.
like it. I like it a lot. It's a simple, not simple, small.
It's not simple, yeah. It's straightforward, yeah.
Straightforward. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, straightforward. Yes.
So that's me.
Yeah.
I won't continue this for now, but yeah, that's a good place to stop. Is the drive shaft is
Yeah.
in, and
You've got
next time I can play with this more.
Yeah, you've got to the end of that step. It's a good place to put it aside.
This is what I've done. It's a little sauce container full of track links that have all been drilled out. Little itty bitty track links. And the reason I pay the money and I do the work is because of this. Frill model tracks do not disappoint. They take a lot of work.
Nice.
They're labor intensive. They're white metal, so they're soft. They're easily damaged if you're not careful with them, but that's rarely the case. They work, and I'm sold. I've been using them for almost 20 years now, and while I don't make every kit with Frill model tracks, for bigger vehicles like Tigers, Panthers, KV1s, T34s with those heavy tracks, these do better than anything I've ever seen, including Lincoln Length and Model Caston and all the other track links you can buy out there aftermarket.
Oh, so Lincoln Length is a brand name, is it?
No, it's just a style of track that manufacturers make. Tamiya does that mostly in their new vehicles now. Lincoln Length. Dragon models were separate links. RFM is, I think, separate links. Some manufacturers make it Lincoln Length, others go separate links.
So these are all separate links.
Yep, they are. Yeah.
And that'll be interesting when I get to that. But yeah, we'll be doing it live. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Get through these. There's only like 2 comments left. So Steve says, I'll check that out. Thanks for the link. Not a problem. Like I said, he's done remixes of like old 80s music and put like new beats to them and stuff like that. And he said, I enjoy a lot of it.
Very good. I will give it a listen.
Sonic says, thanks, Steve. Hope you like it. And Steve says, I really don't like the rubber tracks in Tamiya kits.
If I may reply to that, Tiffany, all I can say, Steve, is that newer generation Tamiya kits, the ones you buy off the shelf that are made within the last 10 to 15 years, have now a newer style of rubber compound that they use on those, rubber, vinyl, whatever they are, where they glue together very easily and they work very well. My Tamiya Achilles, if you look back on that vehicle, those were the tracks that came with the kit. So the stuff from the 70s, that's very difficult to work with. Yeah, that's an old school kit. But that might have been retooled, John. That might
I've not looked at it. That's why I pulled it out.
Yeah.
Well, having never built this before. So my twin brother built this in the 80s.
Yeah.
Because it's been recently re-released. I've got to do it because it's a wonderful looking vehicle, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I've got that model, but I've got the older version. I've got the original version.
Yeah, right.
1976.
It looks like standard rubber.
Well, those things are nothing but rubber bands. They literally work on the half track.
Yeah, that'll be fun. But
Anyway, Steve, just give them a try, mate, and don't buy a tracked vehicle. Buy a tired vehicle, like Tiff was saying, Kubelwagen, Jeep, something like that.
Yeah.
Bugger. I've just knocked the. I started the show with pointing out a photo etch gear. Well, probably mode selector,
Oh,
little
God.
tiny thing. I've just knocked it off. Oh well, whatever. That'll be there next week or on Thursday. No, we're doing
Yeah.
Spitfire on Thursday.
Yes.
Well, let's finish off the comments and
Yeah.
wrap it up.
So Sonic says, I like finding remixes and mixing them together. Mikey says, we are now sat in the hospital waiting room watching you.
Hello.
Duke says, have fun until Thursday, guys. Won't catch you on Thursday.
Thanks for sticking around, Duke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sonic says, psychiatric ward, Mikey. Mikey says, no. Steve says, lol, Sonic. Sonic with the laughing face. And
Yeah.
Steve says, thanks, guys. Great job, Modman. Bye for now. We will catch you on Thursday,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes,
at
we will.
11 a.m. British, like Greenwich Mean Time.
British, or what is it? 10 a.m. Zulu time, if that means anything to you.
Not to me. I just know it's 10 a.m.
Yeah, I'm just.
Greenwich Mean Time or British Standard Time,
there you
whichever
go.
one you want to use.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure
if
there was a
everyone,
BST.
yeah, BST, British Standard Time.
Right.
I was going to say, I thought it was bullshit time.
But if everyone wants to say their tatty buys.
Yeah,
Yes,
Uru,
goodbye.
thanks for
Everyone
joining
have a great
us.
day. Thank you again for inviting me in. Modman, great job as always.
No problem.
John, good to always share a word or two with you. A bit of a chin wag, mate. DJ,
Chinwag, yeah.
glad you signed on. Cheers, mate. You'll be all right. Don't worry. I'll be looking
Yeah.
forward to you acting your usual self next time.
Yeah. So everyone in the Southern Hemisphere says g'day, Sonic, and we love you to death.
Oh, cheers, guys. Love you too.
Right. Catch us later.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Hey,
Bye. We have a problem. I don't have an end stream button. Mikey?
Oh, Mikey, he just commented. You better see if you can flag him down now.
Yeah, there isn't an end stream button on my thing.
Uh-oh, we're running overtime, Mike.
He says 2 seconds.
Okay.
Oh dear.
I'm sure he won't mind if he gets paid the overtime, though.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I'm still waiting for my first Hobnob paycheck. I haven't gotten it yet.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna
I'm
have to ask for mine in Tim Tams.
Tim Tams are in the mail, Jim.
Yeah. So thank you, John. Thank you. Yes.
Well,
Now owes you
Australia?
2 packets of hobnobs. 2 packets.
2.
2 packets. Now we're into overtime, and he already owes her a packet of hobnobs, so it's now 2 packets of hobnobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time and a
And
half.
with these
so
days
that's
of
a pack and a half
inflation
for
and
every hour.
rising cost of living and all that sort of stuff.
Oh,
There
here we
he
go.
is.
He's signing on.
Whoop, whoop. He is.
I'll end it now.
Okay.
I'm on my phone, so I don't think I've got all the brand stuff though.
Oh,
So-
no.
I will replay it. Hang on.
All right.
Bye.
Ready? Go.